BD for permanency review before final order, calling for the mother, Danielle Thornton. I believe I've seen Miss Thornton all day. Yes, if you'll unmute and announce your appearance.
I'm here.
All right, thank you very much. And your attorney is here as well, of course. And what about the father, Benjamin Drew Sr.? Benjamin Drew Sr., Benjamin Drew Sr., Benjamin Drew Sr. If you're on the phone, sir, press *6 to unmute. Announce your appearance, Benjamin Drew Sr. I don't see the name. There's no answer. If somebody does see the name, let me know. Otherwise, no one's presently in the waiting room. Okay, with that, Mom, let me get you and everyone who may testify in this hearing, if you'll raise your right hands to be sworn, please. All right, do you all swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Mom, Casa, caseworker, thank you. Casas. All right, you may call your first, Mr. Hill.
Caseworker, state your name, please.
Audrey Lynch.
And Ms. Lynch, tell the court where the kids are placed.
The kids are placed at Kids Harbor.
All right. And how are they doing?
They're actually doing well. They're all three current on their medicals. They're current on their dentals. They are engaged in therapy there, and they go to school.
Doing well in school?
For the most part, yes. Benjamin is on the basketball team. So he's really excited about that. It gives him the motivation to keep his grades up so that he can continue to play.
Okay. And what's the agency's goal for these kids?
The goal right now is PMC to a relative. We have an ICPC that we're still waiting for a response on for Pennsylvania with maternal grandfather.
Okay. So do the kids know him?
Yes, they do. And also, he's on the call list, so they also have been having phone conversations and stuff with him since they've been at the harbor.
All right. Is the mother doing service?
So she completed her substance abuse classes, but they're unsuccessful completion due to no drug testing.
She didn't drug test?
She hasn't drug tested. She hasn't been drug testing. I think the last drug test she did was in June.
Oh, wow.
That was the only one that she did since the investigation.
So would you like the court to order one for her today?
The court can order it.
Okay. What about the father?
Same thing for him. He completed the substance abuse classes, but he has not drug tested at all throughout this whole case.
Okay. Doing other services?
They did do their psychological evaluations. The recommendations are not completed. They still have the parenting classes to do, which the mom sent me a screenshot of something that she said that she completed a parenting online. I don't know if, I mean, I'd have to look into what exactly this program is and talk to the supervisor to see if that's something that would be accepted. And then they have the individual therapy, which they were set up for a psychosocial at Behavioral Solutions, but they have a hard time with phones, with keeping their phones on. So they've had a few no-shows for their psychosocial evaluation, which is needed for them to start their individual therapy.
Okay. So you would say that they're not in compliance in your opinion?
No, they're not.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
As far as the ICPC, we have been waiting for a while, right?
That's correct. I submitted it in July.
Okay, now tell us what phase we're in and how long you anticipate it's going to last at this point.
So I actually have been emailing and getting updates, and I spoke with Mr. Howe, which is the ICPC person in Pennsylvania that's actually doing the ICPC. The last conversation that I had with him was January the 10th. He had just come back from vacation. There was one last step where Grandpa had to either get homeowners insurance or renters insurance on the home and provide verification of that. From what I understand, Grandpa was able to obtain that like the next day through his own insurance company. So now it's just a matter of Mr. Howe getting his paperwork all together and submitting it over to Texas.
Do you know about how long that typically takes?
I have no idea. This is actually the first ICPC that I've personally dealt with on a case. I did send out another email to Ms. Roya, which is the ICPC lady in Texas that's assigned to this, and asked her for another update.
Okay, and will you just email me and probably Mr. Downing as well if you get any other updates before the next court hearing?
Yes.
Okay. As far as her parenting class online, have you already started looking into that program?
She just sent me this. She just sent me this screenshot of the certificate thing. I think she just sent it to me this morning.
Okay, so you're going to look into that, and can you?
Or no, she sent. I'm sorry, she sent it yesterday at 3:40.
Okay. Once you look into that and determine if that's going to be an approved program, can you let me know what the status is, if that's approved or not?
Yes.
Okay.
And I plan on letting her know as well as soon as I find out.
Now, how often are there visits?
They're visiting on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month for 4 hours.
Okay. And they don't miss those, is that right?
No, they don't miss them. There's sometimes that they're late, but they'll usually let me know ahead of time. And if they let me know ahead of time that they're having car trouble or they're going to be running behind, then I hold the kids and wait on them, and then we'll extend the time after 2, so that they get their full 4 hours.
Okay. The psychosocial, is that in person or is that online?
It's over the phone. It's an online thing.
Okay, so is it possible that you could, since we know that they're having phone trouble and that's making them miss appointments, is it possible that you could get that psychosocial set up on either the 2nd or 4th Wednesday and then just have them come in early for their visit and go ahead and get that done over the phone?
I could probably get it set for, see if Behavioral Solutions could possibly schedule it. It would have to be after the visit. I wouldn't want to set anything any earlier than the visit because a lot of times they're a little bit late getting to the visit. So I want the kids to get back to their placement. So I'd rather try it for after the visit. I could do it. I could do that, but then, they'll have to also figure out the individual therapy schedule as well.
Okay, so can you work on maybe getting that set up for after one of their next visits, so that we can kind of help assist them in getting that done?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, I have no other questions. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Downing.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gott.
Is it the department's plan to move the children to Pennsylvania immediately if the ICPC is approved?
Yes.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Hip.
Tasha. Well, no, let me do this. Let me ask the mom. Mother, could you state your name, please?
Danielle Thornton.
And why have you not been drug testing?
I've had several issues with our vehicle and being illegal, and I just didn't want to get pulled over. I don't have a problem with it other than getting there. And we've had discussed that before with Miss Lynch, so it's in the process.
And this has been going on for the last half year?
Yes. I've went through like 2 vehicles.
Do you work?
Yes.
And where do you work?
I do scrapping on the side, but I do little jobs that I can take on.
Okay. So
I'm actively looking for a job. I've been looking for a job.
okay. When was the last time you held a job where you got a paycheck?
Let's see. Probably 2019. I worked at a gas station for 3.5 years.
Okay. All right. Have you been looking for any employment like that recently?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you want to happen here?
I would love to get my kids back in all reality, but with the timing and stuff, I would like for my kids to get moved to my stepdad's and just to get them out of the harbor and so they could have a chance to be normal kids and do things that they normally would do on their own. And I plan on finishing my stuff here and hopefully to be reunited in the end with them.
Thank you. That's the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
I'm sorry. I don't have any questions, Judge.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Downey.
No question.
Thank you, Mr. Gott.
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Hip, you may call your next.
Casa,
Jolyn Reynolds, Casa ad litem.
and could you tell the court how the kids are doing in their current placement?
I visited them one Saturday morning. They were good. They interact with the staff good. They interact with each other. You can tell they love and care for each other. They're doing good. They talked about
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Are you satisfied with the progress that the mother is making?
I would like to see her do her drug test, but I know she's trying and she loves her children.
Okay. Is she doing other things?
Not really, no.
Okay. What about the father?
I've only actually visited with them one time. I'm new on the case. I don't think the father is at this time.
Do you know if they're married?
It states they are.
What states they are?
When I was reading the files, it stated they were.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
All right. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
I have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Downey.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Gott.
Questions? No questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Any other witnesses, Mr. Hip?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Any witnesses, Ms. Moore or Mr. Downing?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Any witnesses further, Mr. Gott?
No, sir, I rest.
Okay. Ms. Lynch, do we know, is Pennsylvania one of those states that requires the family to become licensed?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And so your testimony regarding renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, that is that kind of what's outstanding with the licensure?
So at that time, that was what was holding it up, was him needing to get either renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance.
Okay.
Judge, I need to ask Ms. Thornton one more question, if I could.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Lynch? Were you done?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I was just answering your question.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. So Ms. Thornton, if you can unmute, please, ma'am. Okay. You may proceed.
Are you married?
We are common law married.
And what does that mean in your mind?
We've been together for almost 20 years. We're in 2004. We have never made it final, like with paperwork and stuff, but figure after common law is like after 7 years.
And so is Mr. Drew the father?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I pass the witness.
All right. Thank you. Any questions from anyone for Ms. Thornton? Okay. Ms. Thornton, have you ever been married to anyone before?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. With that, the court finds that the mother is present for court today. The father is not. Neither parent is compliant with their service plans. The court does hereby find that there would be a continuing danger and it would be contrary to the children's welfare to be placed back with a parent today. TMC is continued with the department. Placement is approved to continue. The court would permit placement of the children upon an approved ICPC as soon as possible, if and when that occurs. Mom, you'll recall that the law requires me to give you the following admonition, and I would give it to the father too if he were here. And it's this: if at the end of this case you're not willing and able to provide a safe environment for your children, your parental rights may be further restricted or even terminated permanently. So I believe you understand that. I don't think you want it to happen. So don't let it. Get into sobriety and recovery. Do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to stay in there. I have heard of the love that you have for your children, the love they have for you, the strong bond, and I'm sure you've done a whole lot of things right and well with them. So please work your services, demonstrate that you've gotten it, that you're making, that you've made all of the changes permanent that you need to make, you and Mr. Drew as well. I say thank goodness for grandmothers, maybe more than I say it for grandfathers, but we're thankful that your father is willing and able to step up to the plate. At least I believe it's your father, right? Maternal grandfather.
Yes.
In Pennsylvania. And so, anyway, work your services, demonstrate, and make the most of your visits. Okay. All right. With that, anything else from anyone else? I'll sign an order to that effect. We're back in here. Well, let me announce the dismissal date first, and it's July the 22nd. July the 22nd, 2023. Bear with me just a moment for the next court date. I'm not really liking the date at which I'm looking. June the 2nd at 1:30. Okay. Right. Okay. Ms. Thornton, please take care, work your services, demonstrate. Thank you very much for being here today. If the department wants to send you for a drug test by way of your service plan, which is court ordered, they may do that. So stay in touch with Ms. Lynch. All right, stay in touch with Ms. Lynch. Okay, so you're excused, ma'am. You're all excused. Thank you very much. Again, I'll sign an order to that effect.